Welcome everybody. How are you doing today? It's so very nice to have you here. And today I wanted to speak a little more about freedom, about spiritual freedom, about what is spiritual freedom. Our upcoming 3-week intensive that begins on June 16th, the theme of it is choose freedom now. What does that mean? What does it mean? What is freedom? What does it mean to choose freedom? I make a distinction between direct experience of presence, awakening, and freedom. And even though in the core, and we will experiment with it here in a moment, even though in the core it's one and the same. Direct experience of presence, the moment that you know presence directly, not through the mind, not through the senses, just right now, right here in this moment. In that moment of direct experience of presence, we know the truth of our true nature. We know the awakeness of it, we know the emptiness of it, we know the spaciousness of it, we know the love of it. When I speak about awakening, about spiritual awakening, I'm speaking about when that recognition, which initially, our attention goes back and forth. It goes between knowing and not knowing, and knowing and not knowing. But when that recognition becomes permanent, the same recognition though, right? The same recognition. So even right now, let's come back, We might think awakening is somewhere out in the future. And we forget, in that thinking, we forget about this moment, We forget about the awakeness that is already present. So when I speak about spiritual freedom, which is again, the distinction, right? Direct experience, awakening, freedom. I'm speaking about a true independence from the past. And what does that mean really? What does that mean, Because in the moment by moment, we can all come here to know our true nature. And you might have moments, longer moments, shorter moments, or, a minute, a second, a day, an hour, a lifetime of knowing that recognition. Knowing that spaciousness, that emptiness, that love. And some of us already, we even have experienced spiritual awakening when that recognition, there's no more doubt about that. There's no more question, no matter what. I say, wake me up at 3 o'clock in the morning and it's still here, right? It's always here. That recognition is always here, right? And yet when I'm speaking about freedom, I'm speaking about true independence from the past. And that means, and that's spiritual freedom, true independence from the past. And that means that when past arises, because that happens after awakening also. When past arises, when we are in the midst of circumstances, when past is present, there is still that willingness to just simply be here. to not to touch it, to not to manipulate it, to not to try for it to be different, and yet to also not engage, not act, not move with the arising past. You know, that means living in this natural state. You know, make that your home, right? Don't leave that. And as you see that, even, you know, nothing matters in this moment, right? Awakening doesn't matter. I mean, it matters, of course, but you know what I mean? It's not something, it's not some kind of mental gold standard. What matters is this moment, right? Where is our attention? You know, and that's where this very powerful, that's the powerful, you know, direction from papaji. You know, we have to make a decision for freedom. That's where this very powerful statement, choose freedom now. You know, it might sound a little kind of new agey almost, I don't know, it's hard to put in words. It might sound a little tried, you know, choose freedom now, but it really is so accurate. It's such an accurate description. Because in a moment, you know, it looks like we don't have a choice about this. It looks like we can't be here. It looks like past is present. It you know, there's a lot of things going on, right? But in that moment, when past is here, where is our attention? So I want to invite you to join me in this upcoming 3-week program. You know, we will be speaking about a lot of things, impermanence of all experience, and how to find certainty in today's world. You know, today's world, you know, there's so much going on. So much going on, and we are so much more aware because of the connectivity of internet and, you know, social media and all that. We are so aware of everything that is going on. You know, how to find that certainty. Interestingly enough, through really knowing impermanence, through really knowing the true nature of all experience, we find a lasting permanence or a lasting certainty while being in the world. So if you enjoy these videos, please like and subscribe and comment. That really helps for more people to see this. And let's take another moment, because as I was speaking in the beginning, you know, the direct experience, awakening and freedom in the moment, it's all one and the same. I'm looking forward to meeting you or seeing you or hearing you in our programs. And this is an ongoing invitation. Choose freedom now.